Life is beautiful.
The Theo Bros Podcast.
How we doing? I am Mike Theo.
I am Nick Theo.
And you are listening to the Theo Bros Podcast.
Where you can count on daily wisdom to get your mind right.
At the 2016 Olympics, Michael Phelps had done it all. He had 28 medals, 23 of them gold. He was literally the greatest swimmer of all time. Now, you'd think being the most decorated Olympian in history would make you feel invincible. But after the camera stopped flashing, after the parades and sponsors, Phelps did not feel invincible. He actually felt suicidal. He later admitted he didn't even want to be alive anymore. How could that be possible? He'd been chasing the next win his entire life, and suddenly there was no next. No race to train for, no mountain left to climb, just silence and himself. That's the part no one tells you about success. When the noise stops, you realize how much of your identity was built on the chase. And if you haven't built anything underneath it, you're lost. That is the success hangover. That hollow feeling that hits when the applause fades and you're left asking, wait, why don't I feel happy?
Yep. I feel as though we hear this story on repeat every single year in the news when we hear about some famous person who has just committed suicide. And everyone is just like in shock of how could that person have committed suicide? They had it all. The person that comes to mind for me is Robin Williams.
For sure.
Guy made everyone laugh, was the center of attention, was a loving father, like had a great family, had every role he wanted, but something inside of him was not happy.
Yeah. I feel like we've also had this feeling, this success hangover feeling where I love the line that was said where you attach your entire identity to the chasing, to that thing that once you get there, you'll finally be happy.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have been guilty of that, and we still sometimes are guilty of thinking that there's this saving grace at the end of this journey where once we get this thing, all of our problems or most of our problems are just going to disappear.
Yeah.
Once we get this achievement, once we write the book, once we, whatever the hell it may be, once we lose the weight, whatever it is. And we've had times like where we said, it's always been our dream to give a TED Talk. We gave a TED Talk, and then after, it was like, okay, what's next? Then we got on millions of bags of Lay's potato chips. It was the coolest thing ever. But then after that, it's like, okay, what's next? There's that moving goalpost every single time. Yeah, we got on the Amazing Race, and then we actually didn't get as far as we thought we would, and then boom, success hangover. It was like this thing that should have been so happy and like, oh my God, we finally did it.
Yeah,
Life is good now.
And if you look at it objectively, though, as type A people, we're constantly setting goals. So how can we not see it clearly that the goalpost is always moving?
I think I have an answer to that question.
What?
So our coach, Ron, he helped us to figure out that you need to ask why a lot more often. Why did Michael Phelps want to be the greatest athlete in the world? Why do we want all of these things? Why do we want to write a New York Times bestselling book? Why do we want to be so successful? Why do we want to be so rich? Why? And if you keep asking why, you'll start really getting deeper and deeper and deeper into your childhood. And a lot of those things that you're chasing are really your way of trying to fill this hole that was created within your childhood. So, for example, for us, we grew up with Italian immigrant parents, right? When we came home with the 99, a lot of times our parents would say, where's the extra point? So we'd come home feeling all proud, and they wanted the perfection. They wanted us to be literally like excellent on every level. And they thought that that was like, I'm not trying to say anything bad about our parents. They just wanted what was best for us. And they weren't aware that, asking where's that extra point is not the best thing from a parenting perspective. But what it did for us was it created this need, at least I can speak for myself, to constantly feel perfect. And my little baby brain or little.
I didn't have the 99s. They were kind of like, where's the extra 12 points?
That's hilarious. Yeah, but you had your own. You had your own
Yeah.
things.
I know. It was a joke.
Yeah, but I forgot where I was going with this. Just interrupted.
Basically, your childhood.
Yeah,
And
the little
go-
child in me was feeling like, okay, what this tells me is I need to be perfect in order to win my parents' full approval. And so that was like why I need to go out and achieve all.
Alright, so-
like I need to finally fill this hole.
All right, so let me play a scenario out. You fill that hole. You figure out, okay, this thing is from childhood. I'm doing this. Now what? Now you don't set goals. Now you don't chase anything. Now what? Like, how do you still act as a person who is pursuing growth without the need to fill in that childhood hole?
I have a firm belief that human beings are made to grow.
Mhm.
Like it's just our default
And
state.
growth and progress is equal to happiness.
It's an innate part. Like look at evolution. Like we're made to evolve. We want to grow. It's just a natural part of life. And I think that even if you feel full and complete now, you will still want to grow. And it's a changing of a mindset from I'm going after this thing to feel complete to I'm going after this thing because it's a calling. It's something that I really want to do or something I find enjoyable or something that's impactful in the world. It's an impact I want to create for others.
Yeah.
You switch from a selfish place of like filling in a selfish and insecure place to one of like, I'm full and I want to impact the world. I have a purpose here. I want to do good out there. So I don't think you lose your ambition by healing that thing inside.
More than anything, I think it's really just not outsourcing your happiness to something in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that ultimately, that's what it is. It's can you happily achieve rather than achieve to be happy? We spoke about this before, the arrival fallacy.
Yeah.
If you keep saying, I'll be happy when,
Yes.
then guess what? You're not going to be happy when you get there.
Yes.
If you can say, I am happy now and I'm going to happily chase this goal and try to grow and focus on the effort I put in here
Yes.
and happily put in the effort, then guess what? When you get that goal, you will be happy. And if you
100%.
don't get that goal, you will be happy.
Yeah. I think yes. And I think in the past when we've talked about this, we mentioned like hacks, like gratitude or little things you can do to shift your mindset. But what I really wanted to get through in this episode was you need to go deeper. Like take some time to actually go deeper, which brings me to the call to action for this episode.
What is that?
You need to figure out like the why behind, like the deep why behind the pain and the traumas of your past and figure out like what's really driving you in life. Why are you doing these things that you're doing? Because they can be traced down to childhood moments. They really can all be. And so my call to action for today is a big one. It's a huge challenge. It's to really do that work, whether that's finding a therapist that's really good, whether that's finding a coach like we did that will help you to really find those origin stories and to heal yourself from the inside out. Because until you go deep and like fix the shit at the root, nothing else, no achievement's ever going to fill that hole. No amount of gratitude practices is going to fill that hole. You need to do the deep work. So that's my call to action for today.
I love that. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love you.
Peace.
Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. If you're new here, we share daily mindset motivation in 10 minutes or less. So if that's your vibe, hit subscribe or check out another episode right here.